Hi Taurus, here is a general look at your solar chart for November 2015 in the season of mists and mellow fruitfulness in the northern hemisphere at least. And this is the time of the year of Scorpio, and Scorpio is that intense sign which is your partner in a way, which is your soft underbelly, which is that very strong-willed sign, which is opposite the sign of Taurus, and is ruled by Pluto. But before I get to that, I just want to mention a couple of transits that are going on which are worth a mention, and the one is Saturn and Neptune. Now, this transit was hanging in the air much earlier this year. Neptune, which is about uncertainty, confusion sometimes, but also sacrifice, and it can be very high, much the level of higher service as well. And then Saturn, the planet of official sort of measures, taking action, trying to get things contained, and rules the establishment, but also rules the protected parent. So this transit was first coming up at the time of the Ebola outbreak, refugees being plucked from the seas in Europe, and their ways barred at Calais, and now the two are coming together again. So there'll be another sort of serving of this over this month and the next month, where this tense energy, because of the nature of the aspect, will be looking for a resolution, will be looking for a solution, but it's now rooting more into the mass consciousness and will be triggering events and decisions which are a reaction or a measured response to those events over this coming 2 months, but then again over some of the time in 2016. So Saturn, just to recap on that, is the planet of boundaries and structures and practicalities, and Neptune is the planet of ideologies and healing, medicine, but also on the flip side of the coin, victimization, escapism, and of trying to do what is best for the common good, even if it means hardship, even if it does mean sacrifice. These sorts of notions, however, are far too ambiguous for Saturn, who's very practical, down to earth, materialistic, and Saturn asks the how of a situation and prefers to deal with facts and the nuts and the bolts. Saturn is also, as I said, authority figures, the status quo, cares about appearances, very much cares about appearances, and also keeping to the traditional way or upholding traditional standards. But Saturn is also, as I said, the responsible mother who wants to protect and provide for others. Now, these two planets are at such an angle to each other that it creates a kind of a friction between the two of them, and their, if you like, their molecules or their rays or their beams are sort of excited by this. They're dancing up and down, they're getting heated. It's heat. They're on a hot line to each other, and it's a bit like a pressure cooker energy, and it's looking for a way of release or looking for a way of escape. And this does tend to trigger events. It's the same as with the long-running transit of Uranus-Pluto. So that demands dynamic effort to balance the conflict between them and to find a productive outlet to that tension. And of course, as much as one can, ongoing, sort of a running sort of saga, really, to find a series of resolutions to that tension. Saturn is right now in Sagittarius, and Sagittarius rules foreign lands, long journeys, among other things, unfamiliar territories. And it also rules the higher law. Now, And Neptune is also, in a way, about the higher spiritual law as well. Sagittarius, however, also rules human law. And the two are, sadly, I have to say, very, very different, the higher law and then the human law. Now, it seems to me that Saturn in Sagittarius and Neptune, working very strongly out of its home sign, Pisces, is bringing a new kind of confusion, because we are all living in a time of Uranus-Pluto transit changing the game the world over. So things that were seemingly set in stone are no longer. Even, you know, the motor industry is feeling the slamming energy of the waves of Uranus and then the plutonic fallout of that. Pluto rules secrets, of course, things that certain people would prefer to be kept hidden. So anyway, there's this new kind of confusion and uncertainty about how to Saturn to help the needy, without having the wool pulled over the eyes by the greedy, and how to execute the compassionate service required in an orderly, practical, structured fashion. And so our task is to balance our higher vision, it would seem to me anyway, to balance our higher vision and emotional intelligence. You know, not clever stuff, smarty pants stuff, smart alecky stuff, but our emotional intelligence with realistic possibilities. And because Uranus and Pluto are lurking in the background there, as well as, you know, Saturn, Neptune going on here, getting together with others in order to pull in that direction. This influence is underpinning events worldwide, but also in our individual charts. So if you would like to look at where Saturn and Neptune are currently transiting, both in your natal chart if you have it and if you know it, and in your sun sign chart, which I'm going to tell you in a minute, then and also maybe the signs that they rule, which is Capricorn and Pisces, then you can tell which parts of your life are most likely to be influenced or implicated or triggered or whatever. And also in the individual chart, higher expressions of Neptune, such as selfless service, charitable actions, healing and art, you should attempt to blend those notions with concrete, practical solutions or actions which are step by step by step. But don't set the bar too high. Be realistic. Keep the thing in the zone of, okay, that's doable. I'll just chip away at this. And basically to serve the common good, but also to serve your own common good. Because Neptune does have this knack of thinking of everybody except itself. So integrating the two, if at all possible. Also, as I said, Uranus-Neptune, we still have this long-running generational aspect. I mean, the Saturn-Neptune one is coming in and out, and it will be shorter term, but Uranus-Neptune has been going on for a long time, and they are further apart now, but these two are responsible for this mass social change that we're going through. The status quo is shifting. Things that we've tend to take for granted, economically, socially, culturally, they're all changing. And the generation of us that are alive today, or rather even those of us that are alive today, let alone the generation, because there's more than one, are right in the eye of that storm. And this is an opportunity, and we will set the precedent. Our decisions, and yes, okay, the ordinary person in the street is not sitting up there, you know, on Mount Olympus with the other gods. However, even in our small, quiet, behind-the-scenes way, if it is like that, but maybe even in a louder way sometimes, we are, through our maturity and our ability to meet the criteria of these expressions of these planetary flows going on at the moment, which have come before through millennia. but they maybe the maybe the Earth didn't have 7 billion plus human beings on it, or maybe it was anyway. That's another thing. I'm rattling on now, but I just want to say that everybody counts here. Absolutely everybody counts, and so there is a huge chance for growth at the moment with Uranus Pluto going on in the background, new frontiers in belief systems, personal values, creativity, and how we apply those against the unfamiliar background of a playing field where at least the goalposts have been moved and at most the whole game has changed. And it's as though those who are ready this is the opportunity to awaken from a very long sleepwalk. And so we shall see, and there's going to be more game-changing revelations to come over the years to come. So you can do the same with these two. Look at and see where Uranus and Pluto are in your natal chart if you have it, and also in your sun sign chart, and also Aquarius Pluto, which houses they might be in, to get a sense of which parts of your life may be more implicated. Now, other news for you Taurians, well, yes, get-togethers, maybe you'll benefit more from the support or contribution of another in close relationship at this time. And it's not a time to be going it alone. Two heads are better than one. Many hands make light work, that kind of thing. And you could be conferring, you could be teaming up or whatever in a personal or business sort of way with another. But there could be definitely a stronger feeling of interaction or attraction at this time. And then until the 23rd, Mercury is in your opposite sign as well. So that means bouncing ideas around, playing with ideas, sharing ideas, getting somebody's slant on things, even if you don't agree. It helps you to clarify your own thinking. And you being seen as the one who can be the information giver, the one with the bright ideas, or somebody else that you confer with whose knowledge you need. And then from the 21st, Mercury moves out of there into the same area as the Sun will move 2 days later. So both of them will be in the area where there is more depth to this area here. And research could be insightful, revealing. You drill down, you get under the skin of something, you find out the facts which maybe have been sort of kept away purposely or not, but you're fishing. You're trying to find out stuff, and also listen to your intuition. That is also going to be a great source of information to you. And there may be more paperwork, perhaps, or you are looking into an old contract or an agreement or something like that. Or a new one, indeed. And you could be feeling quite passionate, quite moved, feelings being nearer the surface, some more sensitive, but also some others around you could be feeling more sensitive, but you could be taking maybe confidential advice or giving confidential advice. And then the Sun, of course, is going to be coming in there and on the 23rd, and that's a gear shifting phase. That's a phase of transition from what you're finding out. You are then letting go of something and moving forwards. So you could be having a bit of a spring clean. I know it is, autumn, but having a general declutter, so that might be inwardly as well as outwardly. Then your ruling planet, well, until the 9th, the Venus position may mean a more sociable or lucrative period when you feel the warmth and support from friends or other associations. This could be a boost to your love life. This could throw highlights on young people, children in your life. You could be tying the knot, maybe maybe not tying the knot, but maybe getting closer with somebody special, and you're likely to express yourself in a freer, more creative kind of a way. You could be finding things to do like that, and enjoying connections generally, in a leisure sort of a way, or maybe to do with hobbies, to do with just play. You're more likely to be able to do things which are playful and which are entertaining, maybe even artistic. So leisure, performance, or speculative activities may be highlighted. Also hobbies and pastimes and that kind of thing as well. And then from the 9th, Venus moves into this very practical mood for the rest of the month, and you will be teaming up with somebody in a practical, useful kind of a way, being more supportive towards you, you being more supportive towards them. Maybe it's to do with mechanical details or running repairs. Maybe it isn't. Maybe it's to do with health, your own or somebody else's. This is just a very sort of useful, productive area where it can help with Venus. It can help with recovery, or figure out I don't know, complicated sort of mechanical problem, or even not complicated, just mechanical problem. And it can be also to do with work, the employment market itself. So maybe somebody's there to help you in that way, or you indeed are there to help somebody else. And and then the 13th, Mars is in a sector which emphasizes the practical side of all your bright ideas. So again, Mars and Venus together, being very dynamic there. With Mars, daily duties and methods are highlighted. You might have to get your head around bits of kit, or other sort of health matters as well, your own or somebody else's. And then Mars moves into your opposite sign. Again, Mars and Venus together. That is really, really good news. And you are enjoying somebody's company perhaps, but also because of somebody else, it could work out that you're having to be more active, you're having to be more dynamic and lively. And you and someone could find to do business together. But just don't get overtired or spread yourself too thin because of somebody else either. But this is a good time to negotiate if you need to. And also it could be a boost to your love life. And then we have Saturn now in your 8th house for a couple of years. And the 8th house is a gear change house, which involves letting go, clearing the decks, making more space for new life, new growth. And this can involve many, many different things in your life. The more material side, like property, finances, your own, possessions, but it's also things like bad habits, or a setup that you were used to before, which is no longer there anymore. So feeling a lack there. Or maybe you have to live within the parameter of a certain previous agreement or contract or setup for a while, but you're reaching out for things which are more comfortable and enjoyable outside of that setup, whilst you're just meeting your responsibilities and your obligations. Either way, you will slowly be transitioning into a fresh perspective, which is closer to your true priorities, Taurus. And you Taurians born the 23rd to the 28th of April, or 3 to 8 degrees rising, and feel that energy the most. Jupiter is in a fantastic angle to your sun sign until September next year. And this is a time when you will tend to be more appreciated for just yourself. You're seen as more entertaining, or maybe people enjoy, you get the chance to play more, or do like hobbies and things that are creative and artistic more, or get to spend more, hang out more with the sorts of people that you really click with, or with young people, children more, animals, it could be as well, like pets, but also just animals. And there could be admiring glances coming your way, and you just feel empowered. You can just feel like, okay, I'll get my ego stroked here, or just feel inwardly. It's more than that, actually. It's like coming more from your creative core and feeling that you're appreciated for your core self more. This is the idea behind this one. And you Taurians born from the 5th to the 12th of May, or with 15 to 21 degrees rising, are going to feel that energy the most this forecast period. And that's it. You can check, if you want to check up, this is all on my website, DianaGarland.com, or the basics of it anyway, and listen to your moon sign or your rising sign, because that may give you some more information. And I will see you the next time.